I have changed the opening to this speech 7 times before I was brave enough to submit it to my teacher, and I can guarantee you that most people have. This is the perfect example of trying to change yourself in fear of the validation of others. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. According to the UN SDG statistics, 1 of the 6 people that I have just pointed at experienced racism. But however, for me, this wasn't just a numerical value. This was my life. When I was younger, I lived and grew up in a country in Eastern Europe called Hungary, where making friends is as easy as breathing. For example, I made friends with this girl called Isla simply because we liked the color pink. I didn't notice that she had blonde hair. I didn't know that she was from Australia. We became inseparable because of something as simple as a color. And now, fast forward to year 5. Maybe making friends isn't as easy as it used to be. But finding something in common in the differences that we have isn't difficult either. For example, you might meet this person on a sports team. You might play the same instrument as someone. And then came year 7, where I started my first year of secondary school in Shanghai. I thought that I was able to have the same deep friendships through the same simple foundations, but I was obviously hit in the face with reality. I had no idea how to make friends. I felt like a nobody, like I was shrinking from the world just as I developed a taste for it. Because I was always the other girl on the other side of the story who has already made her friends. And how was me saying my favorite color supposed to make up for 3 years of memories everyone else shared with each other? But fortunately, everyone wanted to know something about me, such as, where are you from? Which I responded to, China. But it was as if my answer wasn't good enough, as it brought disappointment to people's faces. Because I had a realization. Suddenly, I wasn't from this country that no one has ever been to across the world. I was someone that people saw every day, a Chinese person. I was someone that people had already had assumptions given by their opinions of the majority. And because of this, I felt disgusted. I felt disgusted because of something that I couldn't control, my nationality. But because of this, I made amendments towards my response. Oh, but I lived in Eastern Europe my whole life. I even have the ID card, so I'm basically Hungarian. And just like that, pouring gasoline on fire, the validation that I had received fueled me. This is known as cultural bias. People only wanted a piece of me after I gave them the opportunity to perceive me as whitewashed. And now, I know that there would have been other people in that classroom who would have accepted me as a whole, but did you know that a fascinating brain study suggests that we can remember insults for up to 20 years, but most compliments fade away just in 30 days? So, I wouldn't have felt like a whole if I didn't fulfill what other people wanted to see in me. And therefore, I felt like I was fighting in a battle which I've already lost. And now, fast forward to year 9. I'm already embedded in this identity which I fabricated for myself, which meant that every day I lived, I felt like a lie. I had a crush on a boy, so everything that I did had to fit his worldview. I started to dress differently, listen to the type of music that he'd like to listen to. I started to wear makeup along with the other changes I made against myself, but ironically, I thought that me doing this was able to change the way that he thought about me. But it was more like the opposite. I started acting in these ways, making these changes against myself in fear of the way of he thought. Now, modern terminology, and you may have heard about this, calls this gaslighting yourself. But truly, deep down, all I wanted was to feel loved without the cost of feeling like I lost myself. Now, I want you to take a moment to take in this quote. Make your life a movie worth watching, which one of my friends told me. I realized that I had 2 paths. Either be the perfect version of myself through other people's eyes, or do something extraordinary that no one else can do except you. Be the best version of myself. So, let this be a lesson that no one else is able to see the world like you do except you. This is why that we should not take our life for granted and just be grateful for the life that we're given and make the most out of it. And the truth is, I may have lost the validation of the people who saw me as white. The boys stopped being friends with me as soon as I was myself, but the truth is, if people hate you for changing yourself, being yourself, they've never liked you in the first place.